Soul spawn. Soul lost. Quad spawned. Your team has the quad. Soul lost. Soul lost. Soul lost. Stopwatch. Soul lost. Excellent. Ballet. Incoming protection.
All right, you finally called down the thunder.
Protection spawned. Enemy has that protection. Play. Soul lost. Soul lost. Point blank.
At B point, slowly but surely, we'll see.
My fight is just.
Spree. Obelisk sacrificed.
Set up thinking on the side of the cost of great discipline with Myztro warming up. Again, like I said, it wasn't that bad. And there was a turning point when Myztro had a very coordinated attack. They just didn't find the next. When it's hit 3 or 4 rails in a row, EU carry, you know how it goes.
Round 2. Fight.
Bozo.
Incoming soul. Defend A. Incoming quad.
space to get the power up to defend with, then the game can basically be over from that point.
Yeah, and the problem comes in that Team Liquid was so well organized in defending that point B, which is far more open, that Myztro are having an exceptionally difficult time and really getting in. And every time they do capture, they're always so weak that Liquid's set up right in that mid ground and they can't get it back. And that's just exceptional play from Liquid, very well drilled.
You can see Hell was trying to make an effort there in with Slash, Hell being a very proficient Quake 4 player back in his day, so definitely a character which has a movement set that will be appealing for him. But again, he was sort of alone in that attack there, but you do want to try to get someone onto the point, as you mentioned before. Slash is a great champion to get onto that point.
Yeah, no, Slash really is. But the problem is, if you don't have that follow-up, then it's completely useless. We see a Telefrag coming out there. From Wins.
Yeah, and he's the wins on the protection already, having the Soul on that point. How on earth are they going to get in there? Now, this should surely be another 20-30% going towards Liquid. This is a very, very desperate situation, but we do know this to be one of Myztro's worst maps, I think it's fair to say.
For sure. We saw them in the regionals picking out the clutch. And the reason I like them when they play with the clutch is because it really tackles that key deficiency that we've seen in this map, in that they lack coordination as a team. And when you have that... failing to regroup can really just mess up the entire defense that you have, and they've just all reactors for and gone to their relevant positions, and that's made Myztro's job absolute hell to actually even get anything on the board for either one of these rounds.
And here is the steal attempt from Liquid. Myztro getting a few percent on the board at the moment. Here on point A, it's going to be a hard one to hold though, as the pressure is unrelenting from Team Liquid, just rushing in at the moment, trying to see if they can get some pickoffs. It's not going too well. It's like...
Yeah, and all of Myztro are so weak. Look at their health bars. They're all on like 10 health. All it takes is for a Nyx to come in and snipe them all off.
And the question, though, is whether or not they can regroup to get anything done here, because this is the problem. The power will spawn, and Liquid have so much of a buffer percentage to work with on their side of things that they are able to get that power up, get the steal. Yep. They're throwing it across now towards Rel, going for the fastest throw line with that Salt.
And look at them moving us forward, just making sure, shepherding the way, the quad's going in front, bullying the way for the Soul. And this is, we just see the basics done well in this game is what's making Liquid win.
And now they're just playing it safe, just going for the suicide there to transfer the quad onto someone who is healthy and onto the Anarchy as well. So much interception potential here, but perhaps that moment when they were switching the quad actually allowed the steal to happen there for Myztro, but it looks like it will only be momentary, and perhaps this is just an inevitability now. 99% Liquid going for the defense, still keeping one on that obelisk, another one sneaking on there, but they will be eliminated. And again, how many times will they be able to do this? That's the third one in a row, but it looks like it's clear.
We saw there right at the very end, just when Myztro had the cap and they were all low, discipline. It was discipline to back off. They recognized the timing of the quad. They knew they didn't need to push in. They had plenty of percentage to work with. And they took a clean quad, a clean steal, and that just, again, sound, real play coming out from Liquid. Very, very impressed.
And one of the things that is, I think, going to be a challenge for Myztro, I think if we look at the entire pool of teams coming over from Europe, one thing that we can say against all of the American teams is that they have a huge amount of individual skill. And that can generally, I think, afford them an edge over a lot of the North American teams who might need to rely more on the strategy and their team play prowess, which I think was always one of the reasons why we've seen in teams at QuakeCons in years to pass, years that have passed, that's the reason why they've done so well, is that they just generally are... the North American teams just generally have great team plays. And I think that that's really going to be a big a point here in this tournament, a theme we'll keep going back to. But I think this is the one instance where you've got Wins on the team. He has a lot of mechanical skill, and already that exists with the other 3 North American players who have a huge amount of tenure as well. So I think we saw a bit of a struggle there for Myztro in that sense.
I completely agree. When you shove Wins in, one of the most prolific aimers in the world across any FPS, it's an ingredient that's been missing in the North American scene. Yes, they have all great mechanical skill, but Wins in it also is an exceptional team player. And there was multiple instances across those rounds where we saw his Knicks coming to the fore, defending the point almost solo. If he wasn't there, it might have been that Myztro got another 10-15% and it was really close. However, we're moving into Ruins, I believe, and this is the map where we saw them play the best in the regionals. They're able to utilize that clutch play to the fullest, and that really binds their team together. And I think that was something that was missing in that game. It was a bit scragged, a bit TDM-esque, everyone going off on their little skirmishes. But when they have that clutch, it almost guarantees that you get always you're going to get a steal. And that's very, very powerful because you can never have a lockdown on the map as we saw there. So assuming they go with the clutch, which I have been told is on the table, I think it will afford them a much better chance on this particular map.
And I think all teams have become a lot more adept at Slash. And Slash is a pickup that's been happening ever since the last couple patches. It's become really good. And people are really getting used to using the ability, the plasma trail, to do a huge amount of damage because